Well, I'm back. It says my YouTube, this part 2, but I still maintained a connection to Rumble. Interestingly enough, and I appreciate the Rumble staff on me, I suspect. And this is the 3rd time that's happened. I have to remind people that that particular Friday, BLACK, manage trust and safety for UTISL, that particular Friday is a day in retail. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. So anyway, I'm glad many of you stayed or were able to find me pop up again. I see some names here. Let me see. We got Marla and Rain and Melinda, Diane, Robin. Yeah. All right. Well, we lost. But that's okay. We're back. Where was I? I had nothing in the studio. I had to put it back up there. So yeah, let me get back to where I was. A nice interruption. The YouTube broadcast was canceled, and I don't know if it was a technical interruption or if I used somebody didn't like whatever country. They sometimes review these videos while you're live. And if you say something that they feel violates trust and safety, you get pulled. So anyway, let's have Donald Trump talk about what he was doing, what he thinks about this sucker coming to America. We're coming to America.
We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with, and I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they're including the people in this audience. They'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, thank God he's here, because half of them got mugged.
Okay, that was about DC, but he's got his hat on. Trump was right about everything. But anyway, he's definitely putting it out there that other cities are going to be subject to what DC is experiencing. Not that they're experiencing anything bad at all. Wouldn't you say? Anyway, I got disoriented in my studio because of my UTISL broadcast being unceremoniously shut down. So anyway, here's another clip of DJT. Trump was right about everything. He wore that hat all day today. And the day Bolton gets raided, ain't that something?
The World Cup draw will set up the group stage of competition. 48 teams will play in 104 games across 16 North American cities, from Seattle to Vancouver to Atlanta to Miami. It's going to be so exciting for our country. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be one of the largest and most complex events. This will be one of the greatest events, one of the largest. In a way, it's like Johnny said it better. It's like having many Super Bowls in a short period of time. Because each one of these games essentially is a Super Bowl. Some of them are bigger than Super Bowls, actually. But they're essentially, each one of these games is like a Super Bowl. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the largest, most complex set of events in sports history. And the Kennedy Center will give it a phenomenal kickoff, and we'll be involved, and they'll be working over there for quite a bit of time. We have it all set that they can stay there for the big events, the big press conferences and everything else. And they'll be in a very safe capital. That'll be nice. You don't have to worry about walking down the street, Johnny, okay?
Thank you.
But you could handle yourself.
I could.
Already, FIFA is projecting 6 million loyal fans will attend the World Cup events next year, and 6 billion more are going to be watching back home, and they think the $6 billion number is going to be actually a low number. And this will drive more than $30 billion into the U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs in a short period of time, too. No sporting event attracts more attention, more fans, more viewers, or more revenue than the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, the FIFA World Cup. So, like I was saying, that's Special Friday for retailers. They run mostly in the red until that Special Friday. I won't mention a color in case that's what set the cancellation button off. I don't know. But after that Special Friday, retailers are in the green. Then for many cities, events like this really stimulate the economy. He's talking about 185,000 jobs, multiple events that are going to be bigger than the Super Bowl. So I am going to enter into this chat. I think I still have the link to, there we go, the link to the political page that I discussed. Where is it? Enjoy. It's a private group. If you mention that I sent you, you will be considered much more favorably to be able to join, because they want good people with a good sense of humor, political memes, humor, and civil discord. Snowflakes beware, private group. There you go. Join that group and have fun. And they do have liberals on there. You got to, we want to win them over. We want unity in our nation, don't we? Do we not? So anyway, set of videos from Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and here he was earlier. Here are a couple of clips from him discussing, I think this is one where he said John Bolton's a lowlife. It's not, it's the next one. Let's see what he's got to say here. Trump was right about everything. That's what it says on his hat.
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. But he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, "Oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton is there." He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group. I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. Chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
Chief Law Enforcement Officer. You got that right. Just to remind those boneheads. And here we have another. I believe this is, let's see what it got to say. I'm not too sure. Let's see. I could have got a lot of clips, but I got the salient ones.
To me, D.C. is very exciting. And a lot of people say, well, where's he going from there? Well, I have calls from politicians begging me to go to Chicago, begging me to go to New York, begging me to go to Los Angeles. And if we didn't go to Los Angeles with Newsom, they run it so badly, I don't think we would have been able to have the Olympics. They would have ripped down that city. We went there and it stopped day one. And the chief of police in Los Angeles, when they asked him the question, he said, thank God they came, because we could not have handled what was happening. We went in, we stopped it, and that was it. So they needed help.
Chicago's on the menu. Chicago's on the menu. But right now we're flushing out D.C. Here's what Trump put up this morning, about an hour after Make America Great Again at 9:10 a.m., 2 hours after the raid began. Make America Great Again. And Cash Patel, he put this up. No one is above the law. There's John Bolton. It looks like he's leaving his home. They said some news organizations said he wasn't there, and others said that he did meet with FBI agents and sat in, I guess, a little mini interrogation of him. There he is walking out the door. Patel's FBI raids John Bolton's home in high-profile national security probe. So I think we're going to get some hints about what he had. What did he have? Here's a nice meme for you to put up on the Facebook group or your own Facebook page or wherever you're at, Truth or wherever. The face you make when you're enjoying the self-destruction of the Democratic Party. Remember, folks, we're watching a show. And it's the greatest show on earth, really. So you have to really be disconnected from reality to continue to hang on with this group, to continue to focus on these psychotic channels that constantly bash Trump. Here's another one you can put up there. Hey, Libs, hint. Most guys want a Sweeney girl, not a weenie girl. Yeah, there you go. That's right. So let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see what else. I got a CUE post. I'll put that up in a minute. But first of all, here is this is an ex-FBI agent. Now, how did he end up leaving? You know, there's a couple of posts that have a inventory of how many FBI people were fired or forced out. I'm going to see if this guy's name. I don't care if his name's on. He's a former FBI guy. He's fairly young looking, so I doubt that he left voluntarily. But let's hear what he's got to say about this terrible man, Donald Trump.
My suspicion is this looks performative and political, and that is highly concerning. The FBI should not be used as a tool to go after political enemies. And if that's the direction we're moving, it should alarm all Americans because the FBI has incredible capabilities and powers, and you would not want to see the FBI transformed into a special police, the type of thing we've seen in the past in Soviet bloc countries or in dictatorships across the Middle East and other places. We don't want it to be a mukhabarat or something like that. So it's really concerning. Hopefully that's not the case.
Oh, now it's like a dictatorship. He didn't think that when they raided Trump's house. Went through Melania's underwear drawer and Barron's bedroom, their child's bedroom. Here is FBI raid at, it says home, but this is his office. I suspect this is in D.C.
And ambassador. So this is a live shot of his office in Washington, D.C., and we're looking right now, per our colleagues from Fox Digital on the scene, a couple of FBI agents loading some stuff into cars and leaving the scene. So clearly not as big of a presence at his Bethesda home. But notable that he was spotted at his office earlier today. We're told, I want to be very clear, that he's not facing any charges at this moment. He is not in custody. He is not under arrest at this moment. So we've reached out to his attorney. We're reaching out to Ambassador Bolton himself.
Yeah, let's see how long it is before we hear back from the attorneys and from John Bolton himself. I doubt that you'll be hearing anything anytime soon. Let's see here. Here's another clip. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is Jonathan Turley. I don't know if this is the clip where he says he could get up to 20 years, depending on what he's looking at. Let me see who made it back. Marla made it back. Jerry made it back. Diane, Debbie. Yeah, Jerry's here. Miss Menderson. Nice to see you, Flannel Cheese. Sherry, Diane, Debbie, Darla. Yeah, okay, good. We got a lot of people coming back, but a lot of people got lost. My goodness, thanks a lot, you Tizzle. But anyway, let's hear what Jonathan Turley's got to say.
Is intriguing here because these are long-standing allegations that the book indicated or referenced classified material that he may have acquired when he was in the administration. We're not clear as to what that is, but it would suggest that it could be national defense information. The reason that's important is that creates a heightened potential penalty. So you can have penalties that range from 5 to 20 years. 20 years tends to be the sentences for concealing information, obstructing justice. Simply having classified information can weigh in at about 10 years. And there are often multiple counts because each of those documents can be charged separately. So there is a strange history here. So you had these allegations coming out as early as the first Trump administration. Then there was an allegation that the Biden administration essentially scuttled a further look at this case. Right. And now we have this new development. But we really don't know if there's something that has occurred most recently, whether they uncovered something that they believed is sort of evergreen.
Did he say evergreen? I thought that's what I heard. You know, I put my earbuds in sometimes for these clips. You know, one thing I noticed, if you hit the closed captions, 2 clicks of the button, you just hit CC, closed captions. I've had clips that almost had no sound, but the closed captions will still work. They could have sound, but my hearing is poor, as many of you know. So, closed captions work. I guess it's embedded in the video, and it still gets translated by the computer, I guess. Anyway, what other big news is going on besides Boltonio? I'll tell you what's going on. 55 million visas under review. Breaking Trump administration reviewing 55 million visas. I didn't watch this 44-minute video. This was a reminder to me to tell you all. Think about this. These are not people that snuck in. These are people who got visas. What is the population of Canada? I believe it's around 40 million. Hi, Graybeard. How you doing? Hi, New Insight. Nice to see you. We have here on visas more people that are in the entire nation of Canada on visas. And I am confident in saying people that have crossed the border illegally, people who have been roosting in our country illegally, also match or close to match that number. So we've got to get these people out. This is a predatory incursion by foreign entities. Look what somebody, I didn't hear much about this. This, maybe it's true. I don't know. Patriot Oasis put this up. I didn't hear about this, but, you know, crowds on demand. They can order up a crowd. Though they have a lot fewer people now that the homeless has been moved out, and they can't go protest for a bottle of Ripple or a Walmart gift card. But they still get them out. It says breaking. Massive crowd of protesters has gathered in Washington, D.C. to protest Trump eliminating crime in the city. They are yelling Black Lives Matter. Holy cow, hope that doesn't get my stream shut down. And I probably have a Punjabi reviewing my videos, taking it the wrong way. Anyway, you know, there's this young lady that called Christina Aguayo. She puts up interesting videos. You might want to check her out. I don't know much about her, except a few of the videos I watched, she seemed to be pretty on point. She has researched an accident that occurred on a historical bridge. And she is of the notion that, speaking of Punjabis, the guy that caused that family of 3 to lose their lives doing an illegal U-turn may have collapsed an historical bridge because he couldn't read the signs or wouldn't read the signs, or it was a 6-ton bridge. 6 tons. And he was driving, I think, an 18-ton, 20-ton rig and tried to get over it. There's a picture of it. Just dumped the bridge right in the river. So, yeah, interesting. Somebody did it. Somebody that didn't know the rules of the road. Let me see what else I've got here. Here we got a bunch of idiots celebrating. What is it? Who could it be? Midas Trash Pail Network. Shut it down. Judge delivers death blow to alligator Alcatraz. And they show a picture of Trump and Christina home. And they're all celebrating in their comments. And this judge, here's ABC News also reported on it. Just in, a federal judge is ordering the Trump administration and the state of Florida to effectively wind down operations at alligator Alcatraz over environmental concerns. Alligator Alcatraz. Federal judge blocks transfer of new detainees to Florida's alligator Alcatraz. Again, this is a judge that needs to be removed. We cannot afford to have this person on the federal bench anymore. And I believe we're going to have a list. We're going to see dozens of them removed when this is over with. And of course, this is all going to get thrown out. Alligator Alcatraz is going to keep on functioning. But in the comments, these people are brain dead. They're brain dead. And hopefully we'll wake them up. We'll wake them up. What is this? Here we go. Here's an example. People we're dealing with. Their brain is loose. It's wobbling around their skull. I can only imagine how much more peaceful our lives would have been if Kamala would have won. And yes, she was 100% right about everything. What the hell could she have been right about? Look at these comments associated with this. Just one snapshot. The United States died back on Election Day. Last year, it'd still be alive if Harris had won. She did win. She won, and the results were altered by Elon Musk and the military-industrial complex. True as well. These people are hallucinating. She did win. Diane, Jesse, Keith, Sigmore. What is going on with these people? They can't all be bots. But their premise is, I guess, Donald Trump, who has been hunted, excoriated, ran out of office, has never been in politics, was president for 48 months. Now their brains are saying that he somehow has control over the Supreme Court, Congress, is it aligned with Putin, is a billionaire oligarch that's ruling the world. That's the tack that they're trying to take after the world has seen what Trump has been through. Here, what's this? This is one I should have put up at the beginning. We all know about Bolton getting raided. There he is. There he is, old walrus mustache. And out. Here we go with Trump again. Newsmax. President Trump, what's he doing now? Has control of the Supreme Court, control of Congress, control of the world. President Trump took to Truth Social early Friday and demanded that New York Attorney General Letitia James resign following an appeals court ruling that struck down a massive financial penalty against him in a civil fraud case. New York Attorney General James must be forced to resign. He also said that this woman that is on the federal board, reserve board, if she didn't resign, he's going to fire her for cause. So we'll see about that. And I'm sure he will. He said he would. Promises made, promises kept. You know, I clicked on my news feed about top stories that came in about Donald Trump. John Bolton. What's the first thing I see? Nobody likes John Bolton. Who's it from? The Atlantic. Boy, isn't that something for millions of people to see? What would John Bolton think about that headline? Nobody likes you, John. According to the liberal, commie Atlantic, they're throwing you under the bus. You know, and this is a good pick to start out with because, as Clandestine pointed out, he's a Republican. He's not picking on a Democrat. The public raids have begun. John Bolton's home raided after Trump took away his clearance in detail earlier this year. What a great person to start with. He is a Republican, so the mainstream media cannot spin that this is politically motivated, but the public are getting used to the sight of Trump raiding high-profile politicians and bureaucrats. We start with the more digestible ones, then work our way up to the more controversial ones. Nobody likes Bolton, so this will not be too hard for the public to accept. This raid comes after Trump was mysteriously tweeting at 2 a.m. about how D.C. is safer, after he told us that he was supposedly going on a patrol with law enforcement and U.S. military to, quote, do a job. Was this their job? This also comes after Trump has fully secured D.C. with the National Guard. It's starting to get real. I am in concurrence with Clandestine. Anyway, I copied Posobiec for some reason. Let's see. What did you have to say, Jack? Oh, yeah. CIA Director John Ratcliffe provided Cash Patel access to U.S. intelligence that served as the basis for the warrant to raid Bolton. Remember, John Ratcliffe was Trump's Director of National Intelligence, DNI, and he was supposed to get a report within a certain time frame during the first Trump administration, right towards the end of Trump's term. And it was stalled. It was stalled. And now he's coming back with a vengeance. Bolton disingenuously attacking Trump for mishandling classified information will go down as one of the most audacious and ironic acts of malice in political history, per an individual familiar. Bolton should have been throwing stones in his now raided glass house. Now, that report that Ratcliffe waited on in vain during the waning days of Trump's administration was supposed to provide declassification of a lot of things, like the election being won, the election itself, and they stalled it. They never gave it up. And we were all thinking that once this report came through, that something would happen to prevent Joe Biden from taking office. You all remember that? There was a 30-day period to cough up a report, and they didn't get it done. Anyway, I couldn't copy this video. Just a freeze frame. Police officer draws gun on a high school student in Albuquerque, New Mexico, after receiving a report that a student had a gun. Get a load of this. 5 guns were found on or near school campuses in Albuquerque on Wednesday. 2 students at West Mesa High School are facing charges and are in juvenile detention. The student in the video allegedly had a GUN in his book bag. And in the video, he's challenging the officer. The officers tell him to get on the ground. They are so disconnected from reality. He was charging at the officer. He was resisting the teachers, acting like he could fight. Another student at school reportedly had a GUN in his waistband. On the same day, 2 students at Albuquerque High School also brought GUNs on campus. According to police, there was a similar incident at Del Norte High School, where police detained a girl and her boyfriend. They also had a GUN. Albuquerque Public Schools President Danielle Gonzalez said the police response was triggered after a teacher heard a student claiming he had a GUN in the bathroom. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting how that turns out. We need to have experienced retired law enforcement or military patrolling our schools. Oh, what's this all about? Interesting. You know, he was talking about when he was invited to, what was it, Women for Trump and a couple other things where he gave town halls. And he refused to sit in the chairs. Remember those kind of bar stool type chairs? They wanted him to sit at town halls. And he was saying, you know, he really doesn't trust those chairs. And he said, I'm pleased to announce that we are doing a major tariff investigation on furniture coming into the United States. Within the next 50 days, that investigation will be completed, and furniture coming from other countries to the United States will be tariffed at a rate yet to be determined. This will bring the furniture business back to North Carolina, South Carolina, Michigan, and states all across the nation. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, so he doesn't forget that kind of stuff. Not being able to sit in a chair. Not, being leery of it. Let's see what this one is. Here we go, Midas Trash. This isn't from one of their supporters. This is right from the Midas Trash Network administration, I guess. Congratulations, MAGA. You're complicit in covering up one of the most vile child sex trafficking rings in history. I can say it because this is what they posted on YouTube. Jeffrey Epstein thanks you for your service. Ketchup, how do they figure that? How do they figure that? They put up a bunch of crap about Ghislaine Maxwell. Todd Blanche released the recording. There's more going to come out. They're not hiding anything. The only thing they can't release is what the judge is prohibiting, and to make sure what they have in their possession hasn't been altered. But they're accusing all of us of being complicit in this business. Here's a video concerning, let's see. This is Blanche Maxwell transcript and audio. Now, she said what she said about Bill Clinton, and Trump came out today and said again, 28 times is what I heard. He'd been to the island. And I wonder if future interviews, they're going to ask her. One thing I would have asked her about was, what was the deal with that temple? What about the design? What about the owls? What in the world would you need a temple for? But anyway.
Interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. Blanche posting it on X moments ago. Right now we are going through the material so that we can bring you some excerpts from it, exactly what the two of them talked about. It's going to take a while, though, because there are hundreds of pages in these transcripts, and then the audio is going to take hours to go through. But David Spunt and our Justice Department team are working on it as fast as they can to try to break down some of the highlights and bring it to you.
This is quite a Friday night news dump. This is something that a lot of people had been asking for, were very interested in.
Yeah, well, maybe that was why my broadcast got shut down. Because of what I said about Midas Trash Network. I can't get up there and have my posts survive. They get taken down. But they allow people to put up vile, dangerous things about Donald Trump. And they put up vile, terrible things about all of MAGA or people who had support Trump over half the country, 75 to 80 million people. Ghislaine Maxwell implicated no Epstein associates during meetings with Deputy Attorney General. Sources say. This is ABC News. So we got to take that with a forklift full of salt. Breaking, Ghislaine Maxwell, thought to have the most direct knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's decade-long S3X trafficking operation, claims there was no client list, no blackmail scheme, and, to her knowledge, no high-profile Epstein associates who committed illicit acts in connection with the notorious S3X offenders' crimes. Maxwell told Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche that during her time with Epstein, she never witnessed nor heard of any inappropriate or criminal activity by President Trump. Former President Clinton, as I said, Trump contradicted her, nor today he did, nor any of the well-known men who associate with Epstein. Maxwell, who's currently serving a 20-year prison sentence, also claimed she had been wrongly accused and did not receive a fair trial. And she also said, it's funny that they don't include that. She also said she doesn't think Jeffrey Epstein ended his own existence. I'll put it that way. Here's what Nick Sortor put up. Breaking. Ghislaine Maxwell confirms she never witnessed President Trump in any appropriate setting in any way. The leftist narrative is in shambles. And this is from the transcript. Todd Blanche, did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Ghislaine Maxwell, never. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody in the times that I was with him. He was a gentleman in all respects. One other thing she said was that her associations with his business running his office, trips to the exotic places, was during the 90s and the early 2000s. So I'm just going to keep that in the back of my mind. Because Trump didn't start running for president until 2015. When did she disassociate with Epstein? That's what a question I'd like to have asked and answered, along with why the hell did they have a temple? Why did you have a temple? So anyway, let's get some of these extraneous reports out of the way. Maxwell, I do not believe. So, yeah, I didn't need Sobek to tell you that. I already told you. But I get these screenshots for reminders. Liberal Fox News host flips, praises Trump. Who's that? Who flipped? In a rare moment of bipartisan recognition on Fox News' The Five, former Democratic Representative Harold Ford Jr. stunned viewers by offering strong praise for President Donald Trump's efforts to broker peace. Do you hear that, folks? My ride is coming. Yeah, I'll just tell him to wait. Let's see. So Harold Ford Jr., what a weird story he is, but we'll talk about him at some other time. Donald J. Trump said, I gave John Bolton, who was incapable of being Senate confirmed because he was considered a wacko and was not liked, a chance. I always like hearing differing points of view. He turned out to be grossly incompetent and a liar. See judge's opinion, classified information. When was this? 6 years ago. 2020. Let that sink in. I am pleased to announce that the radical left representative working at the Congressional Budget Office had now admitted how incredible my tariff strategy has been, saying that Trump's tariffs reduced the deficit by $4 trillion. When I began my tariff policy suggestions, they refused to acknowledge the potential success that would be derived. Deficits are down, taxes are down, energy is down, prices generally are down. The only things that are up are take-home pay, the stock market in our country, which is the hottest anywhere in the world. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah. So the media is going to have to crack and start get in line with what's happening. Is this the judge? No, this is the interesting development. It is my great honor to report that the United States of America now fully owns and controls 10% of Intel, a great American country that has an even more incredible future. I negotiated this deal with Lip Bhutan. Remember that name, folks? Lip Bhutan? What's his story? Trump put out a truth that was basically a shot across his bow. You get with my people, or you might be cooling your heels behind bars, is what I got out of it. Maybe somebody else got something different. He's the highly respected chief executive officer of the company. The United States paid nothing for these shares, and the shares are now valued at approximately $11 billion. This is a great deal for America and also a great deal for Intel. Building leading-edge semiconductors and chips is what Intel does. Intel Inside, anybody remember that? It is fundamental to the future of our nation. Make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, so something happened there, did it not? Oh my, here we have another analysis from Clandestinio. Let's see what his analysis is. If I didn't concur with it, it wouldn't be in my feed. Or if I didn't find it interesting. Maxwell transcript summary. Maxwell claims she never saw any inappropriate activity by Bill Clinton or Trump, but admits she was close friends with Clinton and assisted with Clinton Global Initiative. She brought that up, and she brought the cartels up. Maxwell doesn't think Epstein died by you-know-how. She claims she never kept a client list. She claims the allegation not conceivable, and that the infamous photo with Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre is fake. She also denies any contact with Mossad or other intelligence agencies. Oh, really? Now, to what she is saying is truthful, or if she has some sort of motivation. Also, just because she never saw any inappropriate activity does not mean it did not happen. And just because list does not mean that there were not clients. In conclusion, we solved very little, and there is still much more to come within the White House, within the House Oversight Committee hearings about Epstein, and whatever Bondi Cash Bongino are up to at the DOJ and FBI. However, Maxwell's testimony about Trump reflects Giuffre's testimony and Barr's testimony that Trump was never involved in any inappropriate. Anyone believes Maxwell is an extremely different story, but that's what she said. Okay. Yeah, I listened and listened and listened and got a little redundant, but I did think it was interesting. Yeah, I agree, Graybeard. Private government, that's the first thing I thought of. Government partnerships. That's right, Sue. Harold Ford is better than Jessica Tarloff. Welcome aboard, Sue. Yeah, that worries me a little bit, this Intel business. But Hey, they are a behemoth in the tech industry. Here, I put this up to remind myself. He announced half a dozen judges today, and I know he's announced a couple of, maybe another dozen or so. So, recess appointments, I think, because they won't approve them. I'm pleased to announce Susan Courtwright Rodriguez to serve as judge of the United States District Court for the Western District of North Carolina. She served a great people practice. She received her judicial degree, I don't know, from the esteemed Antonin Scalia Law School. And clerked for the highly respected Judge Frank Whitney. Susan's vast experience has prepared her for this new role. She will work tirelessly to restore law and order and protect the Constitution. Congratulations, Susan. That is just a reminder that he is working diligently to put in conservative judges. Now, here, folks, if y'all want something to do, I found this interesting. Trump posted this evening, early evening. I thought it was unusual because it was a big news day with Bolton. I mean, things are buzzing. Trump, during his press conferences in the plural, brought up taking over other cities and permanently putting D.C. under federal control. All these things should have a remarkable amount of press if the mainstream media were not so disingenuous. But he took the time to put this post up. In many ways, it all started in Mobile, Alabama, 10 years ago today. On August 21st, 2015, it was hot. We signed with a ballroom at a hotel. And the hotel said, after one day, we can't handle it. We're being inundated with people. Go to the convention center. And they called us and said, we can't handle it. We're being inundated. And then we went to the stadium, and the place was packed. Tens of thousands of people showed up, and we all had lots of fun together. It seems like a long time ago, but it also seems like yesterday. It was a great day. Speech I made on that sweltering evening under the hot Alabama sun. I hope you enjoy it as much as you enjoyed it then, because in actuality, it is really not much different. I love you all. President Donald J. Trump. So today is the anniversary. And if you will take a screenshot or make a note to, it's on Utizzle. You see, youtube.com. His first is the anniversary. Mobile, Alabama. Speech, Donald Trump. Mobile, Alabama. That's all you got to type in and you will find that video. So if you want to go down memory lane, and he's sending us in a way a message. It's really the same now as what he's saying now as it was then. Let's see. Deleted tweet from a Democrat congressman, Citizen Free Press. Adriano Espaillat. Foreign nations Trump has deployed the military to 0. Okay. Cities in the United States Trump has deployed the military to 1, possibly more to come. How is this protecting us? Because we're getting the domestic enemies out of this country. We're going to subdue and eject them. subdue and eject. So what did I do? I went to the 17th letter, and I put in a name. Bolton. Bolton. There he is. Bolton. Look at this picture. I've got a better shot of it. Came up 3 times. Okay? I'm going to go over 2 of them. Who is standing next to Pence and POTUS? Message. Bolton cleaning house. Out they go. A clean house is very important. Bolton cleaning house. Remember at the beginning of my first broadcast tonight, I said I wasn't sure of Bolton's role? Remember I said about a plant? And remember that sometimes people wear gray hats because they have to do penance for things they've done wrong in the past, and they have to render material assistance. How do you get classified information out to the public legally? Through the courts. But the question is who excuse me, who is standing next to Pence and POTUS? Who indeed? I have a better picture here. Who's standing next to Pence and POTUS? Well, right? Pence and POTUS. Who is the person 2 down to the right from Trump? You have Trump, you have Pence, and you have someone else. Who is it? That's what the 17th letter was asking. And Graybeard got it. And Miss Mindersuit got it. Admiral Rogers. But you know what? Keeps the baddies on their toes. They never know who's working for who, and they're not supposed to know. Pence, Trump, what if you look the other way? Who is that? If you go to the left, who are you looking at? Because let me see the question again. Who's standing next to Pence and POTUS? So if you take your eye the way the Post says, you go Pence, POTUS. It didn't say who is next to President and Pence, right? Which would be Rogers. If you say Pence else. Could be somebody who was playing a bad guy that is going to come out with something. Does anybody get what I'm saying? Who is that standing beside Pence and POTUS? Doesn't say to the left or the right. Mad Dog Mattis. Nobody guessed it, so I'll go ahead and say it. Mad Dog Mattis. So, we know Admiral Rogers is an American hero. That was clear from the start. So anyway, the next post I brought up that had the name Bolton, a black box post, a repost, the 17th letter. Instead of putting something up from the Anons, they put up a recycled post of their own on the operator board. If you continue to proceed down this dangerous path, know that we are prepared. You should know this based on earlier drops. RESA, National Guard, military assets. Activate U.S. soil. Military assets activate U.S. soil. The game is over when the public knows. Ah, Colette, you don't know that. Ha ha ha. You don't know that. Sometimes people are made to think that to protect them. You can't walk in and infiltrate enemy territory and say, I work for your enemy and I want to find out what you're up to, because you would get neutralized. You have to say, I'm part of you. Okay? The game is over when the public knows. Is all that matters to you. You will fail. This is the 17th letter to the Black Hats. The American people are awake. You lost control. Their resolve and their ability to free think away from the pipeline narrative. We will declass. We will shine light. There is nowhere to hide. No amount of money, influence, secure and protect at all costs, then become justified. We stand at the ready. Red wave, white squall. In God we trust. Well, what was the message that goes along with this black box message? If you are smart, stupid, you know what just occurred at the meeting in Russia. Attempts to frame Russia, POTUS, optics are failing and will soon be exposed. Objective to keep POTUS away from Putin failed. Bolton plus Putin should scare you. Enemies are allies. Evil has no place here. America is no longer for sale. The age of taxing our citizens across the world while entry into our markets is free is over. Can you say tariffs? The world will unite in this cause. GVE RVW. Hi, Stanton, how you doing? Anybody knows what that means? GVE/RVW. The world will unite because of those letters. Everybody remembers WWG1, everybody remembers that. Nobody's supposed to know, Miss Mendelsohn. We'll find out, won't we? Forced immigration pushers will be exposed. Read the Bible. God wins. The why. Forced immigration pushers will be exposed. The why. Read the Bible. God wins. The why as to why is there forced immigration? The answer is because they want to destroy the electoral system. They want to manipulate votes. And they've already manipulated the census. So all that stuff is being exposed. GVERVW. I'm want to see if anybody guesses what those letters stand for. The world will unite in this cause. What cause is GVERVW? And that's one thing I'd say about these drops, is try not to make them complicated. And, try for the simplest answer. What will the world unite under when presented choices? Very good, Kim. Good versus evil is GVE, because we innately know people around the world have in common the knowledge between good and evil. And the people around the world are going to be given the choice of good versus evil, and they will unite. And there you go. Graybeard, I don't know if you mistyped it. Rain got it. Right versus wrong. Very good. Good and evil, right and wrong. Because that's exactly what the Bible teaches us. To respect what pleases God and the way He wants us to live is good. Anything other than that is evil. So, those are the two things that we have. Just put in the name Bolton. And the third one I will leave you all to look at for yourselves. You don't know what his background is. You don't know what his role is. But he is a major player as of today. Somebody who, in the present circumstances and in Trump's first term, was a minor player. A minor player. Now, here's something that popped up. Who's this person? Up the other day, yesterday, or a couple of days ago. They caught somebody. Italian media published photos of Ukrainian Sergei Kuznetsov, arrested in Italy in connection with the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipeline. Remember, it was said that that was the most massive environmental disaster, man-made environmental disaster in history. Earlier, it was reported that he is a former captain of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Security Service of Ukraine. Blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Why do they release a picture like this? I don't know. And it's odd that this is being disclosed now, because I caught him like a week or so ago. Now they're letting out who he is. From Russian news services, the U.S. classified intelligence about negotiations on Ukraine from London and other allies. CBS News reports citing sources. Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard issued a directive to intelligence officers on July 20th, yesterday, ordering that all information about Russian-Ukrainian negotiations not be shared with U.S. partners, the Five Eyes. In particular, this information cannot be shared with the so-called Five Eyes, an intelligence alliance that includes U.S., UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. There you have them. There you have them. How many times have we seen this referred to in the 17th drop, but never reported in the news? Now, these are the countries, you know who they are. The Five Intelligence Alliance, 5 countries. They were involved in setting up Donald Trump in some way. Some countries much more than others. The directive classifies all data about the negotiations as no foreign or no cooperation with the Five Eyes. The memorandum also restricts the distribution of materials within agencies that gather intelligence. It is specified that this does not concern diplomatic information, only intelligence data. At the same time, they're yanking security clearances. They're severely restricting communication with the Five Eyes. Breaking from a source familiar with this AM's raid on Bolton's home. This related to a national security investigation of Mr. Bolton that was shut down by the Biden administration for political reasons. It involves stealing classified documents and weaponizing them for political purposes. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have reopened the investigation, hence this morning's raid. Sources says Bolton wasn't detained, but he is fully expected to be charged. So that's taking the veneer off of any of the questions here. CIA, oh, I already read that one. That was he put it up twice for some reason, about John Ratcliffe. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted this. "7:15 a.m. America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued always," with a reposting of Kash Patel saying, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission." Timestamp 7:15 a.m. this morning. So, I have got a post from General Flynn I will get to. This one is something very interesting in Venezuela. I got this from Intriga Tropical, a channel I've mentioned to you all. You might want to check out concerning Brazil. Venezuela, in Valencia, the Venezuelan state of Carabobo, the mobilization of military assets was reported, including armored vehicles and infantry units. Remember I was talking last night about how Trump may have been sending a message to Venezuela about when you can't strike back at an invader? He wasn't just referring to Ukraine, Russia, because they've been designated as a predatory incursion, an invasion. And a helicopter was shot down in, I don't have the clip, I have it in my other, I have to transfer it over. It's a bad quality video, but in Colombia, a military helicopter was taken down by mercenaries from a branch of offshoot of FARC, a communist. So anyway, that's all saying to me that we're going to have to be getting involved. Reagan didn't flinch about getting involved in Grenada. Things in our hemisphere, our concern. Here's Newsmax. President Trump is threatening to enact a full federal takeover of the nation's capital, accusing Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser of disseminating inaccurate crime figures. Trump threatens full federal takeover of Washington, D.C. A long time coming, and it's going to happen. I mean, I can't see it not happening. Can you all see it not happening? I don't even know what this guy is. Let me see. Which news agency is this? Oh. MS Now is what they're going to be called soon, but right now they're still MSNBC. Talking about John Bolton's raid. Now compare this to when how they treated Trump when he got raided. They were wetting their pants with glee. Now you have somebody like, never mind that he's never even close to being a former president. John Bolton's home getting raided.
He thought that the president's summit in Alaska with Vladimir Putin was going to be a disaster. Trump had handed Putin a win. In fact, Trump went to social media to criticize Bolton for those comments. And now, a few days later, we have this. We don't know there's a link, but we certainly know this is a president who has promised retribution.
Yeah, this is chilling. It really is. Listen, John Bolton and I disagreed on many things back in the days when I was serving in public office, but I don't think very many people that know John Bolton would argue that his beliefs were intellectually sound. You could disagree with him, and that he gave a lot to this country in terms of time and his intellect and his work ethic. And clearly this is retribution. Clearly this is using the FBI in a way that not only tarnishes the FBI, but it tarnishes our country. I mean, this is what they do in countries where they don't have rule of law. This is what happens when despots take over, like Putin. And John Bolton has always been critical of how, I mean, he about lost it when Trump wanted to invite the Taliban to Camp David. It's chilling. Now, do I think they're ever going to have evidence to convict this man of anything in a court of law with a jury? No, they won't. But they can make him miserable.
Donald Trump, that's Claire McCaskill, a former U.S. Senator. Josh Hawley's got her seat now. But did you hear her say that Bolton got upset because Trump was going to meet with the Taliban at Camp David? Remember when that information got leaked to the press? Why would she bring that up? Just something to keep in the back of your mind. So here's J.D. Vance discussing with the wild-eyed reporter whose name I can never remember, but she's always bug-eyed and looking all intense. She's talking to J.D. Vance about Bolton getting raided. And J.D. said this is very early. And from what I'm gathering, from in a long and detailed investigation that's going to happen. Connecting the dots.
We've learned that the FBI is searching the home of former Ambassador John Bolton, his office as well.
Sure.
Can you tell me, why is the FBI raiding Ambassador Bolton's home and office, and did the White House get a heads up?
Well, so we're in the very early stages of an ongoing investigation into John Bolton. I will say we're going to let that investigation proceed. What I can tell you is that unlike the Biden DOJ and the Biden FBI, our law enforcement agencies are going to be driven by law and not by politics. And so if we think that Ambassador Bolton has committed a crime, of course, eventually prosecutions will come. But as you know, Kristen, this is all part of gathering evidence, trying to understand something that we're worried about. And of course, I'll let the FBI comment on the next stage of the investigation.
What's at the root of this? Is this about classified documents?
Well, again, I'll let the FBI speak to that. Classified documents are certainly part of it, but I think that there's a broad concern about Ambassador Bolton. They're going to look into it. And like I said, if there's no crime here, we're not going to prosecute it. If there is a crime here, of course, Ambassador Bolton will get his day in court. That's how it should be. But again, our focus here is on, did he break the law? Did he commit crimes against the American people? If so, then he deserves to be prosecuted.
Yeah, if he committed crimes, he's going to jail. And they're talking about a larger concern. Who's that on top of the screen? Talking with Laura Logan on the phone. The first victim of the treachery to bring down Donald Trump via a corrupted intelligence agencies, along with backstabbing foreign governments we used to cooperate with, which we no longer do as of the day before yesterday, called the Five Eyes. This victim's name is General Flynn, the first one that was attacked. So here he is on a telephone conversation with Laura Logan, and this is the video I'm going to leave you all with. And what do I always say? I say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. Thank you for coming back after I was unceremoniously canceled on the first broadcast on YouTube. And thank you to all my Rumble viewers. So anyway, thank you once again for spending your precious time with me. I should be going live again Sunday or Monday. We shall see. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So you all enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
People like Fannie Willis, who is the district attorney in Georgia, the attorney general in New York. I think that people like Jack Smith, who did the Mar-a-Lago raid and was the quote-unquote special counsel against President Trump, I think we're going to see indictments of those individuals. There are grand juries already in place that I'm aware of, and one is in Florida, one is in, I believe, is in Washington, D.C., another is in New York, and there's a potential one in Pennsylvania. And I think the one in Pennsylvania may be for what I believe is going to be an even bigger bomb that's going to come out here, and that has to do with the 2020 election. People look at Russiagate as the attempted coup. The actual coup was 2020 election. And that, I mean, they did it. They effected a coup against the country. And they put a person in place who we now know was essentially brain dead. And I'm being a little bit facetious, but he clearly had mental health problems.